The third social fact of nature is that universal, top-down, one-size-fits-all solutions are very beguiling, but they don't work, and there's a lot of unintended consequences. It's a shortcut that doesn't address the root causes of young people's needs, and we need to sit with what we already know young people need to feel good and healthy and learn, versus thinking that removing a technology is going to solve all those problems. So we know as educators and parents and youth development workers that things like health and medical services, caring adults, wellness resources, teacher professional development, media literacy, school culture and climate interventions, these are the things that really make a difference. And yet we have a desire to latch onto extracting technology will solve those problems. And the final point I think that I want to raise is directly tied to that. And one of the biggest unintended consequences of these very well-meaning policies around technology restriction is that it raises incredible equity issues that we know exist because of the structural inequalities. If we look at the cell phone bans, which I think are a focus of this conversation, in fact, we know that these bans are primarily going to be focused on public schools, and they're going to be unequally applied within the public school system, where I think in New York City, even like in the earlier waves of cell phone bans in 2015, New York actually lifted the cell phone ban because it was applied unequally between low income and higher income serving schools, where the lower income schools that had metal detectors, they were being applied much more rigorously. And that's just an example, but there's a lot of research that shows that technology, the way that technology policies are implemented in schools, creates this inequality where it's not just the in-school learning, but out-of-school learning. It's sort of the wealthier families with a lot more technology access really lean into those more creative, agentive, youth-driven forms of technology engagement. And in contexts that are serving lower income communities that may be more dependent on the public infrastructure, that the primary messaging that young people are getting around technology is that it's bad, it needs to be limited, that it's, something, all of the fun things that kids are doing, like creating apps or, creating YouTube videos, are sort of not something that young people in lower income schools are given access to. And that the social fact of nature across all educational technology is that there's a tendency for the rich to get richer in terms of the deployment of technology. So